Imagine a sound so low, so persistent, it could drive you to distraction. It began in the early 1990s, a phantom whisper in the high desert air of New Mexico. They called it the Taos Hum, a mysterious, low-frequency drone. It wasn't heard by everyone, but for those who did, the effects were undeniable. Agonizing headaches, a gnawing nausea. Was this a localized anomaly? A peculiar quirk of the New Mexico landscape? Or was something far more sinister at play, a whispered hint of a global conspiracy? Scientists descended, instruments in hand, searching for the source, for an explanation. Yet after years of investigation, the hum remained elusive, its origin a profound enigma. The Taos Hum, a sonic ghost that continues to haunt the quiet corners of the world, a potent reminder of the mysteries that still lie just beyond our understanding. In the year 1241, a shadow fell across Eastern Europe, a terror unlike any seen before. The Mongol horde, a whirlwind of horsemen and conquest, was at the gates. Their approach struck fear into the hearts of nations, a chilling premonition of what was to come. King Bela IV of Hungary, facing this existential threat, rallied his kingdom. His army, the last bulwark of Christendom, stood ready along the banks of the river Saho. But the Mongols, masters of deception, had a brutal plan. Under the cloak of darkness, they launched a surprise night attack, swiftly securing a bridgehead. Then, with terrifying speed, their cavalry swept around, a crushing encirclement. The Hungarian forces were annihilated. The Battle of Mohi was a decisive Mongol victory, a shockwave that left Europe stunned and vulnerable, forever altering the course of history. Imagine, buried beneath centuries of mud and peat, a forgotten world waiting to be revealed. In 1973, at the Roman fort of Vindolanda in Britain, archaeologists unearthed something extraordinary. Not gold, not grand monuments, but something far more intimate. Wafer-thin wooden tablets preserved by the waterlogged earth. And on them, in ancient Roman script, were the voices of the past. These weren't official decrees, but everyday communications, letters, invoices, even birthday invitations. We hear the mundane requests, like, "Please send more beer." Yet these simple words offer an unprecedented, direct glimpse into the daily lives of soldiers and their families on the very edge of the Roman Empire. The Vindolanda Tablets are a window, allowing us to truly hear the people who lived, worked, and dreamed on the Roman frontier. For centuries, humanity gazed at the heavens, utterly convinced of its own central importance. The earth, they believed, was the unmoving heart of the cosmos, a truth woven into the very fabric of religious doctrine. But in the quiet study of a Polish scholar named Nicholas Copernicus, a radical seed of doubt was sown in 1543. His meticulous observations, painstakingly recorded, began to whisper a different story, a story that defied millennia of accepted wisdom. What if, he dared to propose, the sun, not the earth, was the fixed center? What if our planet was merely another celestial wanderer orbiting this fiery star? This audacious idea didn't just question astronomy. It threatened to dismantle the entire universe as it was understood, forever changing our place within the grand cosmic dance. In 1932, Australia faced a threat unlike any other. Not an invading army, but a feathered foe numbering in the tens of thousands. These were emus, a relentless tide of wild birds that had descended upon Western Australia's farmlands, devouring crops and decimating livelihoods. The farmers, desperate, called for military intervention, and so a small contingent of soldiers, armed with Lewis machine guns, were deployed to wage war against the emu. But these birds proved surprisingly formidable adversaries. They scattered, they dodged, and their sheer numbers overwhelmed the soldiers. The machine guns fired, but the emus, incredibly, continued to march on, a bewildering and almost comical defeat for the Australian army. Though the military eventually withdrew, the Emu War stands as a bizarre testament to nature's unpredictable power, a quirky footnote in history that reminds us even the most organized forces can be humbled by the wild. The mid-19th century, a time of soaring ambition and relentless innovation. The Industrial Revolution was roaring, but one critical element held it back: iron. It was expensive, difficult to purify, and fundamentally flawed. Then, in 1856, a visionary named Henry Bessemer had a radical idea. Imagine, he thought, blasting air through molten pig iron. This wasn't alchemy. It was pure, fiery science. The oxygen in the air would burn away the impurities, transforming the brittle metal into something far stronger, far cheaper, and infinitely more versatile: steel. This single breakthrough, this controlled inferno, would literally reshape our world. From the soaring heights of skyscrapers to the far-reaching tendrils of railways, the modern world, in so many ways, was forged in the fires of Bessemer's revolutionary process. In the heat of 1881, a fire ignited in Anglo-Egyptian Sudan that would shake the foundations of empire. From the dusty plains emerged a figure, Muhammad Ahmad, who declared himself the Mahdi. The divinely guided leader prophesied to restore Islam. His call was clear: a holy war, a spiritual revival against the perceived corruption of Ottoman Egyptian rule. And the Sudanese people answered. What began as a religious movement rapidly transformed into a massive uprising, a united force that swept across the land. The British, caught off guard, found themselves facing a formidable foe, culminating in the dramatic siege of Khartoum and a shocking defeat for their forces. A new Mahdist state was born, a powerful, independent empire that dared to defy the encroaching colonial powers, forever altering the trajectory of the region.